if you think, oh, Louisa has a new desk, then I unfortunately have to tell you that you are wrong. Because my desk is still here, as you can see, and this is a new challenge. Yes, you've heard right. This is a new challenge, and if you look at this, perhaps you agree with me that this is definitely one of the strangest challenges that I've ever had here on my desk. So let me tell you something about this crazy material and about this challenge. So Peggy at the Paper Bumblebee has invited me to this challenge. She has sent this cute little tag to me. So Peggy, if you're watching, thank you very much for this cute little piece of artwork. It's really, really gorgeous. And after this challenge, this will go to my wall of inspiration, definitely. And she has written that she is thankful that I'm participating in this challenge, and she is wishing me much fun creating a cover for a journal out of this material. Okay. I think that is not so easy. So she has found this, and she has sent this to me and to some other people, so that you have the possibility to watch several videos today where you can see what other people make with such a material to create a junk journal cover. So the other participants in this challenge are 49 Dragonflies, Bollenhut Art, Una Tacita de Scrap, and Peggy herself, of course, the Paper Bumblebee. I will link everything for you down below, and of course you will find the other videos there as well. And this is some kind of a canvas, so it's normally, I guess, used to paint something on and then hang that to your wall. And this material on the one side feels like plastic. I think this is because of the coat of perhaps gesso or something else that was put on here. And on the other side, this is relatively raw, I would say. And I thought we could try, and I say try because I have no idea if that will work. We can try to make a masterboard out of this, because this piece is actually really, really big. So I will zoom out with my camera. So as you can see, this is really, really big. And I thought we could make some kind of a masterboard with some lace, some paint, and some other crazy materials and mediums. And then later on, cut that to have several pieces where we can make some smaller journals out of. I thought this is so much that I don't want to make only one junk journal cover out of it, because I think when this idea works, why not cutting it in pieces and then have several prepared covers to put around a journal. So that's my plan for today. So the first thing that I would like to do is I would like to check how I can later on cut that. I mean, normally if you would make a masterboard, you would not think about that, but I don't want to waste any material. I mean, this would be not so extremely, yeah, but when I glue this to the canvas, I don't want to waste my pieces of lace and that stuff. So I want to see if I can cut this so that I have no leftover things later, so that it makes sense to make some journal covers out of that. And I'm wishing that I could get 4. So if we would have that like this, cut that here, then we would have 2 pieces. We would then fold it like this and cut it here. Yeah, then we could make 4 junk journal covers out of that. Is that correct? Yeah, I think so. the first thing that I want to do is I want to, yeah, this will be some kind of a planned masterboard. So I will just take a pen. This is the Stabilo All pen. I will just make some marks where I have decided to cut that later. Next, I think I want to go ahead and scribble along here a little bit. I'm using my left hand. Normally when I use a pen or a pencil, I'm using my right hand, so I'm right-handed, but I will take my left hand and make some weird lines here with a Stabilo All pen. This is a water-soluble pen. Ooh, that is not so easy. So some people say that you shall take it here on the very end so that that gets more loose what you do there. I want to have some kind of an orientation on my single pieces here. So now I'm concentrating my eye to this area here. And then next to this one, and then to this one, and then to this one. A little bit different than you would do that on a normal masterboard. Yeah, so normally you wouldn't think about that. You would just start. But I want to use this challenge as a chance to compare my results. I don't know if that makes sense in this moment. I mean, I know it's not possible that you can look into my brain and what's in my imagination. But I want to have the chance to compare my 4 results in the end. Normally, when you make a junk journal cover, you have one piece in front of you and you have to decide what to do with this one piece. It can be that you have several ideas and that you think, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that, but I can't do that on one and the same piece. Here we have the chance to try out different things because we will have 4 covers in the end. And that's what I'm going to try here. So I will make lines in this direction or in this direction. I'm trying to feel how every single piece can come out in the end. Okay, so next I want to glue some pieces of lace. I have chosen from my stash these smaller pieces that are really different, as you can see. I have some that are a little bit longer. Some of them have really interesting things like these textured things here. Sorry. I have those single pieces. Perhaps you know when you have something like this that you often I mean it's not possible with every of these pieces, but often you have these little threads here in between of the single elements, and you can cut these so that you have this as one piece. And that's exactly how these things here came to life. So I have many of these single things, and I think that looks really cool when we arrange that here. And now when I'm gluing this, I know that I will smear around my Stabilo All pen that I have used here, and that's exactly what I want. I want to try to get some smeary, artsy, drop shadowy thingy for the background. I don't know. To glue that, I'm using the Junk Journal glue by Funkelkram. This is a German brand, so this is the website if you want to check that out, if you have access to German shops and you can perhaps purchase in a German shop, then you can check them out. And this glue says that it is really, really strong and that it can glue paper, cardstock, fabric, leather, and plastic and that stuff. So I'm hoping that this will work. So I will take my pieces and then I will glue them down here really, really randomly. Whew. Okay, so this is relatively dry now. And now I want to cover the whole thing up with normal white gesso. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to get the gesso into these little slots of the single pieces, but I still want to see the pattern of the pieces, but I want to cover everything up so that everything is white. And here where I have smeared with the Stabilo oil pen, I'm trying to get that a little bit blended to those areas where the blank canvas is. This takes forever to dry. It's not totally dry, but I can already see that these pieces will not come off. I mean, I will not tear really extremely here because it's not totally dry, but I can feel that these things are really glued down here, and that's good. So now I can see where some gesso is missing. And I think that you can't see that in the camera, but when I look closer with my eyes, I can see some areas where definitely gesso is missing, so that everything is has really a good coat of gesso. I have to fill in some of these areas here. And what I also want to do is I want to take my Stabilo oil pen again and go along here, along the edges where I originally made these black things, scribble around a little bit, and then with a little bit thinner coat of gesso, I will smear that around a little bit so that I get this effect that I have planned in the very beginning. And what I also want to try is I want to take this sewing machine thread here, because here I have this little thing. Can you see that? This comes from this element here, and I've just left this thread that was on there here, and I think that's a really cool thing to have this texture here in some areas, and I want to try that out with this thread here, even if that is a little bit thinner. So I will just glue that down with the gesso. I think that will hold, and then I will have to let that dry again. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that much of texture here in the background. I mean, I can see this as one piece at the moment, and those single pieces here, of course, would look totally different in the end. But I have the feeling that this is too much for me, and I just came to one idea, because when I've dried this with my heat gun, I thought it would be nice to have some scribbling in the background. I really like scribbling, but I'm not so good at it. I have to practice scribbling with a pen or a pencil. And I'm just wondering what would happen if I would carefully lift these threads up. Can we then perhaps, I mean, this is not dry yet, but perhaps it will leave some interesting marks if I lift this up. Okay, so I think that can work, but it's not dry enough. I will dry that a little bit more, and then I'm trying to lift that up to see if I can get marks, but not so textured like this thread is now. Because, yeah, can you see that this is really much? I mean, this is personal preference, of course, but I think I don't like it. Oh, that works just wonderfully, but I guess you can't see anything. We have the texture now that is really, really similar to the thread, but it is in the gesso now. I hope that I can later on bring that out a little bit more so that you can see that better, but please believe me, it is there and it looks really, really gorgeous. But this looks now like I had scribbled around with a really thin needle. So I have removed the threads here, and I will leave them on these both pieces here so that we in the end can see the difference. That is also a part of this thing what I'm doing here today. As I said in the beginning, later on when we have our 4 pieces, we can decide which we like better, when the thread is still here or when the thread is removed. And the next thing that I want to do is I would like to try to add really, really tiny, not tiny, but only in some areas, some more textured elements with a stencil. For that, I'm using texture paste, this one here, texture paste by Ranger, and I'm using a stencil. I just have to decide which one I want to use. So I have to check my stencils, and then I will decide that. And I will put some stenciled things here and there, so that not everything is like, I have the feeling this is really high and really much, and this is nothing. Do you know what I mean? This difference between the texture of the lace and nothing on the canvas, that is too much for me at the moment. So I'm trying to balance that out by adding some stenciled areas, and I probably will go over the lace areas here and there as well to bring that together and to merge that together a little bit. Okay, so this is dry now, and this feels really sturdy now. Also, when I flip it, it's really, I mean, it's still soft, but it feels really, really sturdy. And that's what I like about soft covers, that they are soft but sturdy at the same time. And I think I could reach that here for this piece. And now I would like to go in with some color. So I have chosen 3 relatively neutral, for my taste, neutral colors from the Distress line by Tim Holtz. These are forest moss, brushed corduroy, and walnut stain. So these both are oxide sprays, and this is a spray stain. So this is the normal ink. These have the oxide effect. And for some color, I have chosen, for some more vibrant color, I have chosen Wild Honey and Salvaged Patina. This, unfortunately, I only have in the re-inker bottle here. I don't have the spray, but I want to try out if I can get some color with this and a cool contrast to this. Okay. Let's start with brushed corduroy, because that is medium intensive, I would say. Okay, so I also have my water spray bottle here so that I can make sure that this whole stuff gets not too intensive. As you can see, this is really, really intensive, what comes out of the spray bottle, and I want to, spread that around a little bit. Perhaps it's also a good idea to spritz water first. Water first, so that you can let that run a little bit better. I don't want to have that too intensive now in the beginning, because, just because I don't know what will happen here. That's the main reason, that I don't know what will happen here and how I want to have that in the end. And I have never done something like this before. So, when it's too intensive, I guess it's not so good. So I will try to spritz that relatively close to the canvas so that it doesn't spritz around so crazy. Okay, so let's go on with some forest moss. My absolutely favorite color. I love this color. I can already tell you that I really, really like this effect of the ink that is going into the slots of the lace. That looks really cool. I guess I have to dry that in between, and that's what I'm going to do now, so that this whole thing gets not too wet. Don't know what happened, but forest moss has disappeared nearly completely. Let's add some more. So I will go on spritzing here and there a little bit, trying to get cool effects, and then I will dry that, and I will also use the other colors that I have shown you before to reach this effect that I want to have here and to get the colors, especially the colors that I want. And then I will dry that, and then we will see what we have here. I'm really excited. Where the heck is my color going? My color is can you see that? It's going away. Here where the texture paste is, the texture paste is grabbing the color really well. You can see that here, here, and here, and here, and so on. So here I haven't spritzed anything, but in the other areas where the texture paste is, the color is there. Here where the lace is, the color is making really, really strange things. Here it's getting turquoise, even if I haven't used the salvaged patina yet. It's totally turquoise here. The brown has gone, I mean, not totally, but it's really strange, and I don't know why. and I tell you my thoughts here behind this. This texture paste is gesso based, if I'm not wrong. So this Distress texture paste, I can't read this. This is so small, but I think I remember that Tim has said in one of his videos that this is gesso based. And here the ink sits on this texture paste. We have put gesso to the lace and it seems to soak into the lace totally. And that's definitely not what I have planned. That is not what I want. My problem is also that I have these kind of blocks here where the texture paste is. I mean, that looks really intensive, really cool, especially this area. I love this area, and I can imagine that these both pieces can look really cool in the end. But here I have the problem that I have this bam, you know, this pop of color in one area. It's not blended to the rest. And I'm not sure if I like that. And I think now is the time to do what? Shall we go on and add another layer and look if the same thing will happen and if it disappears completely as well, or what shall we do? I think here I want to add some more color to the texture paste, and here as well. And perhaps we can blend that in another way. But how? How the heck? I mean, here the ink sits on the rest. So I think I have to experiment a little bit more here to see what's going on here. Yeah, I can't tell you. This is the challenge. So I don't know what's happening here. This looks relatively wild now, I know, but I have the feeling the more layers I add, the more intense the colors come out here in those areas where the lace is. Here, for example, with the Salvage Patina spray, it came out really turquoise, as you can see, really cool. Also here, I think with the spray stain, it works on the lace a little bit better than with the oxide spray. And when you don't spray water or not too much water, it dries way more intensive. That's something that I could find out. And what I want to do now, because I think I'm nearly finished with this, I want to cut that into the pieces that will become my 4 journal covers in the end. As you can see, I have finished 3 of my 4 journals made with those covers. I've just decided that I want to put some pages in here so that you can imagine how that looks when it is a finished journal. I have one left here because I would like to show you how I made that, but as you can see, this is, yeah, some kind of crazy. You think, okay, this is something that you can hang to your wall. This is a piece of something. But in this state, it looks not like a cover in my eyes. And when I show that to you like this and say, please imagine here are pages in the cover, then it would be really, really weird. So I've decided to finish these up so that we can do the last one together. And I think these turned out so, so cute. I have decided to make 5 centimeters for the spine. So that means here are 9 signatures in every journal. And I have decided to put some really neutral paper in here. That is mainly coffee dyed paper, some really rare pages from books. This is Edith Holden, for example. I have some normal book pages, but really, really plain and really simple, meant as a notebook, as something that you can finish up by yourself. And as you can see, this is really thin here in the front, so I could manage that here's really much room inside, so that you can put some collages to the pages, or you can glue some tickets, postcards, or whatever, so that this thing can grow really, really much. And this is so flexible. I'm so in love, especially because of the thing that you perhaps want to put something inside and the journal will grow. So there's no other chance. If you're a junk journaler, you know that your journal will grow. And yeah, so this is the front of journal number 1. Or I don't know. I haven't put numbers in them. But I will put numbers in them because I always put numbers in my journals. But here's no order. But this is the first one that I want to show you. And another really cool thing about this method with making this masterboard out of the canvas and cutting that in pieces, you have no front or back. Do you know what I mean? So for me, this is the front, but you could also turn it around and use it this way. This would make a beautiful front cover as well. So for me, this is upside down now, but I think it's something like, yeah, you have to feel where's the bottom of something. For me, because here it's so dark, it's the bottom, so it would belong in this direction. But you can see that like you want it, of course. And that's the cool thing. You could turn every journal in the other direction and you would have the possibility also, of course, to journal from both directions. Why not using a journal from this side and from this side, so that you have the writing inside here in this direction and here in the other direction. And when you come to the middle page or somewhere, both directions of writing would meet. That would be also a really cool thing to use a journal, I would say. What I can recommend, and that is also something that I have done, is to seal the surface with something. We have used those ink sprays, and of course they are water soluble. And I don't want to rub with my finger and have ink on my finger. I don't want to take this to a travel, for example, and perhaps it begins to rain and then I have a problem with the ink coming off. So what I did was I have used this resist spray by Ranger, and I have spritzed 2 really thin coats of this to each of the covers. That makes it a tiny little bit shiny. I think that comes from the canvas itself or from the gesso that is on top here. I don't know why that happened, but I'm new to this thing here. I have this in my stash not so long, and I have used this, I think, 1 or 2 times on other projects, and that were paper projects, and I've never used it on such a material, so I don't know if that is normal, that it is a little bit shiny. But even if you don't like this shine, I mean, I even can't show you that. I mean, here, can you see that here? If you don't like that, then of course you can also use, after spraying this, something like matte Mod Podge or something like that, and put another coat, thin coat over that to get rid of this glossiness. But I think this glossiness makes it a little bit more like a piece of art. I mean, it looks like more like a canvas. I would say that this character of the canvas comes out better when it's a little bit shiny and a little bit, yeah, you know, this that would be on a painting on a wall as well. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so we have that, and I would like to show you, because there are many people out there who would ask me that after this video. This is not part of the challenge, what comes now, but I know that there are many people out there who would ask me how I have attached the signatures to the cover. So I will quickly explain how I did that so that you can do that by yourself as well. So as you can see, this is a hidden spine on each of the journals, and I will explain you in a second how I have done that. Okay, so how can we turn this into a real junk journal cover, and how can we bring the pages into this weird little thing? For that, I have taken a fabric. This is just an old pillowcase, and I have torn that so that I had this piece here. So please imagine that this is not existent. So I had this piece, and this whole piece is a little bit bigger than this piece here, so that we have a little frame around here. I wanted to have these really cool torn edges here of the fabric so that they show later on here on the outside. So this is a little bit bigger than this. And then I have decided how wide I want to have my spine. This is 5 centimeters, so that I have 9 signatures in this journal here. I have glued this a little bit thicker piece of cardboard on the back of this fabric, and then I have poked my holes and I have sewn in the signatures so that I have for all 4 journals this loose block of signatures that I then can glue to the inside like this, and I would have my journal. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to figure out where the middle is and where these pages exactly have to go. So for that, I have taken this. You can take a clamp or something like that and just clamp that together. Then we can take something to make a line so that we can see where we have to glue that. And I'm first gluing the spine so that I can make sure that I have that in exactly the right position. So when we have that, we can start gluing these pieces on the side. So I'm letting this dry completely. I'm not closing the journal now. So as you can see, this can stand by itself when you have put the clamp here. And that's really handy, of course. You can put that where you want and you can just let that dry. You can also place some heavy books here on top if you think that this can get wavy or something like that. But with the canvas, I couldn't realize any waves or something like that. So I have just let it dry like this. And after it is completely dry, after 24 hours or how long your glue takes to dry, that can be different, of course, I am closing that for the first time. So please make sure that it is totally dry before you close it. And then when that is totally dry, I have just, I went to my sewing machine and I've just sewn along here, but just for decoration. So I've made that here, for example, and here, just to get this little artsy black contrast. But of course, that is not necessary for the construction of the journal. So when you have that and it is dry, then you can open it and you can see that you have this really nice edge here. And yeah, then this thing will look like this, and like this, and like this. And now I think I'm really, really happy, and I'm hoping that you are happy as well and you want to try that out perhaps. So please make sure that you also check out the other videos. I will link them down below for you as well, so that you can see what the other participants of this challenge have done. I am really excited because when I record this video, of course, I don't know what they have done, and I'm really excited to watch their videos as well. So have fun with that, and have fun with trying out those different techniques on making a junk journal cover out of a piece of canvas. See you the next time. Bye bye.